On today's episode of Undercover Boss, the chairman and CEO of Empire CLS, an upscale global transportation giant, goes undercover. By joining his employees behind the wheel, this titan of transportation gets to know the people that keep his company engines hot. But what will happen when he finds out that some of his employees need a refresher course on driver's ed?
You're lying to me. I'm adding an extra stop. There's no question within my mind.
I wanted to grab the phone from him.
Tune in to find out on this episode of Undercover Boss. With a base of operations in Secaucus, New Jersey, Empire CLS Worldwide Chauffeured Services is a global transportation leader. This company takes pride in making sure that their high-end clients get where they need to go efficiently and with the best service possible. In the driver's seat of this $150 million a year company is the chairman and CEO, David Seelinger.
My name is David Seelinger. I'm the chairman and chief executive officer of Empire CLS Worldwide Chauffeured Services.
Empire CLS is a provider of luxury chauffeur transportation, and they service some of the most recognizable people and celebrities. Empire Services functions in 700 cities worldwide, and they transport more than 1 million people a year, and they pride themselves by picking up and getting customers wherever they need to. David was born in Pennsylvania, and he was aggressively bullied at a young age, which led to him getting addicted to drugs and alcohol at a young age. He dropped out of high school at the 9th grade, and after a few months, he tried to off himself. Thankfully though, he was not successful and was taken to a hospital where he made recovery, and then went to a psychiatric facility for rehab and has been sober since. After coming out of rehab, David had a new outlook on life and started his first job as a driver at Empire, and he became an extremely hardworking person and worked in multiple positions helping the company grow faster, and only after 2 years he became partner in the company. David wants to go undercover now because after spending decades in management positions, he wants to get back behind the wheel and find the problems that his company is facing.
I want to go undercover now because I feel a little bit out of touch. I don't feel in touch with chauffeurs who make this business.
He'll be going undercover as Sonny, and his employees will be told that he's on a contest on a reality show trying to win money to start a new business. And they'll be asked to rate his performance and recommend him for a job. For his first job, he travels to Las Vegas, Nevada to work with one of the drivers.
Today I'm going to be working with one of the chauffeurs at Executive Las Vegas, which is our affiliate in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas is one of the most profitable cities for Empire, and he wants to make sure drivers are keeping up with the high standards of the company, and here he meets up with Jackie, who shows him how to properly put on a tie and gives him information about how to deal with the customers.
You're gonna get some drunks in the car, you're gonna get some fools in the car, you're gonna get all kind in the car. Keep that smile on your face, okay?
They then go on their first drive and pick up customers, but is somehow very bad at it now, his main problem being speeding on speed bumps.
Watch the speed.
Okay, you should have said watch your head.
Sorry about the bumps.
And he didn't have a good conversation with the customers, and he also misses shortcuts and arrives late at the destination.
It was a miracle that he had any tips at all. I wouldn't have gave him 2 pennies.
Jackie takes over the next drive and shows him how it should be done. David sees just how engaging and energetic Jackie was, and how good Jackie was behind the wheel. He was incredibly impressed by her and learns from her, and then takes over the wheel the next time and does much better. For his next job, he stays in Las Vegas to work in the fleet market.
I'm still here in Las Vegas, Nevada at Executive Limousine. I'm here today to see the assistant fleet director.
And he meets up with Swan, and she takes him to a training site so he can grade new drivers on how well they do basic obstacle courses. Swan teaches him how to grade points.
Cones, 5 points each.
Every cone you hit costs you 5 points.
Right. This is the one that's the most fun.
He does that with a new driver who scores so low that he makes David wonder if he should take a driving lesson again.
So bad. I wouldn't even let him walk my dog.
Mr. Wu failed miserably.
But David learns that even though the new driver failed, Swan tells him that he'll be allowed to drive for the company because his mistakes were not major. She explains that she would not have let him drive, but the people that decide don't listen to their recommendations. And David gets very confused and upset by what he learned, and he plans to get to the bottom of it.
So I need to get to the bottom of this because I don't want any of the chauffeurs to put a passenger at risk.
All right, thank you.
The next day, he travels back to Secaucus, New Jersey to work in the dispatch office.
I'm in Secaucus, New Jersey today, which is Empire CLS's corporate headquarters, and I'm going to be working in the dispatch environment.
And he meets up with Anthony, who teaches him how the computer system works and just how they track drivers. They then see that a driver was late, and Anthony shows him how to contact them and get update on the situation. David takes a few calls, and later they call a repeat customer asking to get dropped for 2 minutes so he can grab a bag without getting charged for the extra minutes. David finds this reasonable and was going to say yes, but Anthony takes over the call and refuses the customer's ask, and then gets into an argument with the customer about something that should have never been a problem. David was fuming to hear the conversation, and it took everything from him not to yank the headphone from Anthony and fix the problem himself. He was upset that Anthony was treating a customer this way and not following the company's standards.
I wanted to grab the phone from him.
All right.
The customer wants to make an extra stop, and he's telling you that it's en route.
For his last job, he travels to Los Angeles to work as a driver.
I'm here today in Los Angeles to inspect the chauffeurs and make sure they're performing at the level they should.
And there he meets up with Frank, who had a really good first impression, but later he starts oversharing with the customer about stories that happen in the car, and the wildest one being people shooting adult videos inside the car, and he tells the customer unnecessary details about their actions.
One of the girls starts sticking her tongue in my ear.
What?
Now, yes.
There was no reason to tell her that there was porno filmed in the car.
David gets upset by what he heard, including the oversharing, and with him in the first place allowing such a video to be captured inside the car. As the rest of the day goes on, David also does a really good job and learns that Frank used to be a heavy drug addict, but he's managed to turn his life around. And finally, David's undercover time has come to an end, and he's seen great employees and not so great ones, and he's invited all of them to reveal his true identity. First in was Anthony, and he confronts him about how he treated the customer, and that even though he's got talent, he lets him know that he's not using it well. He tells him that he has to change that and offers to mentor him if he promises to change, and Anthony takes the offer and promises to do better.
I've realized my mistakes. That was a major eye-opener. This is the owner of my company telling me that I believe in you. That's huge.
Next in was Swan, and he tells her that he had a great experience with her, and then gives her $50,000 so she can have a really good vacation with her husband, and then goes on to give her $30,000 so she can put a down payment on a new home.
What I'd like to do for you is give you $30,000 to help you get to your dream again.
After Swan, it was Frank, and he informs him that the way he interacted with the first customer was inappropriate and that it could have been seen as harassment. But David knows that his intention was just to make conversation, so he offers to send him to training because he didn't want him making the same mistake again.
I don't think you had bad intentions. I don't. But what we're going to have to do is send you through some sexual harassment training.
He then goes on to tell him that he's a great driver and gives him a total of $30,000 to use as he sees fit.
My life's definitely changed because, first of all, I get to help my mom, which I love doing. I mean, I try to help her as much as possible.
Last in was Jackie, and he tells her that she was the best driver that he met and offers her an all-expense-paid vacation for her and her family, and then gives her $40,000 so she can do whatever she wants.
Give you $40,000 to do what you choose with, whatever that may be.
In the weeks since, Anthony was grateful for his second chance and is working hard to improve. Swan has decided to chase her dreams and bought a ranch in Arizona to raise her animals. Frank has used some of the money to help his mom. And finally, Jackie is planning several vacations with her family. And that is it for today's episode of Undercover Boss.